It's the PHNX Cardinals halftime show, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. The Arizona Cardinals rally down 20-3. They have narrowed the margin to 20-17 at Carolina. I'm Johnny Venerable, the playmaker, Britton Golden, live at Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass. Drop a like, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Cardinals look dejected. It's been a complete ref show, and yet Britton Golden, they only find themselves down a single field goal as they enter the second half.
Now, look, listen, it was ugly. The offense started off atrocious again, as we've seen. The defense did not look good in the first couple of drives. Now, granted, Carolina got gifted 2 touchdowns.
They did.
Like, the first touchdown, you can't – the roughing the passer penalty is ridiculous.
Horrendous.
He wasn't late.
Yeah.
Both Bryce Young's feet were off the ground. He didn't land on top of him. That was ridiculous. Also – there was a play call in there where they said there's no offensive pass interference because the ball was uncatchable. That is not, to my knowledge, that's not a thing. If you're shoving off as a receiver and they throw the flag for offensive pass interference, you can't pick that flag up saying it was an uncatchable ball.
Yeah.
Right? He forced himself to get open there. That should have been a penalty call. Now, granted, they left Adam Thielen wide open the very next play, right?
Horrendous.
So the touchdown, I'm not going to say that touchdown was gifted, but the offensive pass interference definitely hurt you that got picked up. But outside of that, right, they played horrible football offensively in the first half.
Yeah.
After they got their butts kicked 20-3, they started running the football. James Conner has got over 115 yards on the ground or 110 yards on the ground in the first half alone. Get back to this.
Yeah.
Run the football down their throat and just keep pressing. They cannot stop.
They can't stop it. Bryce Young, who looked like prime Mike Vick at times in the first half, a very modest 5 of 10 for a touchdown. Meanwhile, like Kyler Murray and that offense finally got it going. They were only beating themselves with penalties. But again, like we've seen this Cardinal team have a good second quarter. We think the momentum's going to carry over, and then they kind of wet the bed in the second half. Like they cannot allow that to happen. They don't get the ball to start the second half. That goes to Carolina. But a 3-and-out would feed families. It would allow the Cardinals the opportunity to flip field position. And here's the deal. The Cardinals looked atrocious. They were not ready to play. You can wipe that all out with a strong third quarter and put this game to bed. Like Carolina is already feeling the wave of momentum fall upon them that, we're going to blow this game. Woe is me. You have to keep up that momentum. If you give them a sign of life, if you let Chuba Hubbard, who's been productive in the first half, come out and start getting 5, 6, 7 yards per clip, then you're going to allow them to just remain that they're in it. Think that they have an opportunity to win this game. Cardinals, like, I'm going to hold off on, you need to fire people, ramifications, Drew Petzing, JG, Kyler Murray. They got to finish this game because all that matters at the end of the day, like I talked about it, we talked about it on the pregame show, like, yes, you want style points, right? Marvin Harrison Jr., 3 for 30. James Conner's been carrying the load. Kyler Murray, 1 touchdown pass. All that matters is you get a dub today. You just got to get a dub. You got to escape with a dub. You live to play another day. What you can't have happen is we're losing 20-3 for Carolina. We're feeling sorry for ourselves, and then that's the game. So I'm glad they didn't quit, and now you just got to lean on number 6 to get you home.
Oh, I agree. But you're going to have to come out in this third quarter, and you're going to have to put the ball in the air.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless of how Petzing thinks or what, he's got to be able to put the ball in the air. And that starts with these receivers.
Yeah.
Right? We don't get open. We haven't gotten open all season long. These guys have to find something. They've got to create some type of separation. You see Kyler's had time in the pocket, and he sits back there and he looks and he looks and he looks, and all of a sudden he's got to move.
Yeah.
Because nobody's open. Somebody's got to figure something out to get open. You got to limit turnovers in the second half. You can't have fumbles like you had and give them the ball on your 30-yard line. And you've got to be able to pass the ball. They're going to, if Carolina has any competent defensive coordinator in there, he's going to come out in the second half and say, well, we got to stack the box.
Yep.
We cannot let James Conner continue to run for 7 to 8 yards a clip on us, or we are going to get beat 35-20 today.
I think Kyler Murray, we need some design runs. I'm surprised they didn't integrate that in the offense at the tail end in the second half. I think you've got opportunities for end-arounds, design runs, QB keeps, RPOs. I'd be leaning into all that because I think Kyler Murray looks spry today. But again, the deep passing game, like, it's not there. But here's where the Cardinals are at. And, like, I can nitpick and complain about this offense. I don't like it. It's not my bag. But the Cardinals are within 3 points, which means that they can run their style of offense. Like, there's no excuses now. Like, you turn the ball over, it is what it is. I like Michael Carter. James Conner better get the rest of the carries the rest of the game. Like, you have no excuse now. No one's asking you to sit back and throw first, second, and third down.
No.
So you're averaging 8.7 yards per carry here.
Yeah.
Like, you have an opportunity. You should score the rest of every offensive possession from here on out.
No, I'm not saying you got to stick with the run. You're not getting away from the run. I'm saying that you've got to put in some design passes. You got to keep it up. You're going to start getting man coverage because they're going to stack the box.
Yep.
Right? So there's going to be opportunities on first and second down where you maybe take a shot, maybe try to find a mid-range pass, 10 to 15 yards, but you got to mix it up a little because they're going to stack this box and they're going to try to stop this run. Right? Continue. You got to come out as soon as you get the ball in the second half. Well, I think Carolina gets it first, right? As soon as you get the ball in the second half, yes, we're running, right? But you got to find ways. As soon as they stack that box, get the ball out quick, find intermediate passes, try to create things down the field for this offense, and you will easily win this football game.
It's going to open things up. Trey McBride, I still think, has opportunities to get going. I think you can lure them asleep with the run game. And, like, Carolina, you just got to, as cliche as it sounds, keep them out of the end zone. Like, the Panthers are not going to beat you with field goals.
No.
They're not good enough right now. You hold them to field goals. You hold them out of the end zone. You, for the love of God, contain Bryce Young like you did at the end of the first half. And maybe we even get gifted a turnover. It's all right in front of you. And I think if you're Jonathan Gannon, it's like burn the tape from the first quarter, build upon what you did in the second quarter, and give yourself an opportunity. Like, Cardinal fans are upset. They're pissed off. I get it. I'm right there with you. You just got to finish this game. You got to find a way to get a dub. You got to have more points than them at the end of this game. And you live to fight another day. You get Paris Johnson, presumably back, and back, and Mike, what's his name? Mac Wilson, linebacker. You get some pieces back next week. Damon Dog, let's get some of these super chats. We got any?
Yeah, let's do it. We got 4 super chats. Start off with Tyler H. He says Cardinals stack in fantasy semifinal is hurting right now.
Yeah.
It's tough. You just want James Conner, Trey McBride. Pretty much no one else.
Well, Trey's got to go off this half. I think Trey McBride, we're going to see a lot of 85 here in the third quarter.
We can only hope so. We could only be so lucky. Aaron Van Buren, $2, says, the refs aren't the problems. Our fundamentals suck. Blame the head coach.
I think both. I think you can make an argument. Like, listen, Gannon, they weren't ready. But at the same time, you're getting egregious holding penalties on 4th and 1 on Yelda Froldhold. This is one of the worst calls I've seen all year.
Listen, the penalties hurt you, but I agree. Like, your offense came out and was not ready to play today. I think they came out they were lackadaisical. Maybe they were cold. I mean, come on. This is one of those things where you can't start. If you start so like this next week, you're for sure getting blown out. But you won. You've got to win this game. You got to come out in the second half.
Figure that out next week.
Yeah, you got to come out in the second half with a mission. Like, you got to come out ready to play football and ready to dominate the second half. Next week's not going to matter.
2 things can be true. Cardinals were not ready and looked lifeless, and their officiating was terrible. Damon, let's keep it going.
Josh is spot, a friend of the program, sends in $2, says, I'm at the game. Where is Bo?
Bo is in the press box. Keep him warm. I'm sure enjoying some fine delicacies via the public relations department, communications department with Carolina. We will see Bo on the post-game show. And I think he's going to be probably given wherewithal to be on the field, too. So if you want to stick around, maybe you can get a selfie with our guy, Bo Brock.
Flying his DMs.
Yeah.
We got Corbin here, $4.99 to round things out. Said, thoughts on bringing in a veteran receiver like Devontae Adams on a 1-year deal to mentor Marv?
I don't even know. But it's not just Marv. Michael Wilson didn't have a catch. This whole offense, this passing game, it's just non-existent.
Listen, I don't hate the idea of bringing in somebody like that. I don't hate it. On a 1 year, find somebody that they can, like, kind of look up to and see how they approach the game, right? It looks like you really just have a bunch of young guys out here playing receiver that succeeded in college, but it's a little bit different trying to get open in college than it is trying to get open in the NFL. So, I mean, I don't hate the idea. I think that's obviously something we will address later on, in the offseason after the season's over.
But can't you admit, like, the passing game itself, like, Marv can have his issues. He's got 30 yards in the first half. He's caught every pass that's been thrown to him. But, like, to your point, Is it the concepts, the scheme, the personnel,
It's both.
all of the above?
It's both.
Okay, it's all of the above. Okay.
It's concepts, it's play calling, it's execution. Not a lot of it is execution at the wide receiver position. Right?
Okay.
We don't create separation. We don't get off the line of scrimmage very well.
Okay.
We don't get open. A lot of that, 90% of the problems in this receiver room is the receiver room itself. It's not the play calling is horrendous at times, but we can't just sit here and blame the play calling for the receiver room. You still have to find ways to get open.
Cardinals have a sack. Baron Browning pushed Bryce Young out of bounds. Cardinals defense needs to step up. And this offense, to me, like, they have given you life. The defense now needs to respond here with a quick 3-and-out against Carolina. Be sure, like this video. Damon, what do we got?
We do have one more super chat from our friend Lauren. 5 pounds says, how many times can we say the offense wasn't ready to play today before something gets done about it? If we can see it, how can't they?
I think that I was ready to go on this halftime show and say we need to fire Drew Petzing. We need to make significant changes. I think I'm right there with you, assuming they can't finish the job. And we're going to be right back here for your post-game show, and we will hold people accountable. Win or lose, can the Cardinals pull it off? Like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. The offense has to get it done. Can the defense get a stop post-halftime? I'm Johnny Venerable, Britton Golden, Damon Dog. We're going to hear from Bo Brock at Bank of America Stadium right after this game. Can the Cardinals keep their postseason hopes alive? We'll see you on the postgame show.
We all silly like the mayor.